I
Hello, hello, how are we doing? Quickly check that to see if those are actually working. Says they're not. Ah, there we go. Even if it is incorrect. SoundCloud. We will check that in a moment. SoundCloud sound alert. Oh, it's that kind of out of date, is it? Ah, let's sort that out. Resistance is offline, sound. Click. Settings. We will have to do that later. I'll remember to do it though, it's quite alright. Very strange, very strange. Hello, and how are we today? As everything loads in. So, as the title shows, we shall be finishing off our Scottish poems and starting one of the others in the pile. In time, I will make this pile a little nicer as well, get a few more. This is one that I actually look forward to as well. Though that's a 27 book long set. I need a whole lot more of those. Have I done my... Yes, I did my Latin for today. Okay, good. The things you remember. Right, everything is okay. I think we're all set. So I may as well hop over here and say we will be beginning now. So pause the music. I had been thoroughly enjoying this and honestly wish I'd stuck it out and gone that bit over the time, but my throat wouldn't have let me. It was very, very painful at the end. Let's turn this light on. There we go. Much better. I'm fairly sure this is the side we shall be on, and it shouldn't take us too terribly long to finish off this. As I say, only a few left. Hello, peachy goodness. I did make sure to find where to post it again. I always lose the promotion streams and such. We've only got a few more to do in this book, then we'll be hopping to another one. Now, these ones, a lot of them are written in a particular way, so it forces an accent. I'm not doing it intentionally, I promise. And this one is When the King Comes O'er the Water. I may sit in me wee crew house at the rock, and the reel to toil fu dreary. I may think of the day that gane, and sight the sab till I grow weary. I ne'er could book, I ne'er could brook a foreign loon to own or flatter, but I will sing Aranton sang that day our king came o'er the water. Oh, gin I live to see the day that I hae begged and begged frae heaven, I'll fling the rock and reel away, and dance the sing from morn till even. For there is ane I wanna name, that comes the raging bike to scatter, and I'll put on my bridal gown, and day our king comes o'er the water. I hae seen the guide auld day, the day o' pride, the chieftain glory, when the royal sturts bear the sway, and ne'er heard tell o' Whig and Tory through light. Be my loxen grey and ailed. His crooked me down, what matter? I'll dance the sing aye a day, that day our king comes o'er the water. Good lord, it's tricky. And that's the first one. Hello, EJs. And I will start off with some tea. See, the issue is some of them are written in a very female perspective, and there is absolutely no way for me to tell that, to read it in a more accurate way. And as I say, I promised you I am reading it as it's written. So, and Aid the crooked me down is and EILD, which is apparently old age, which in context, smooth. Cauldron. Take away that star and garter, hide them from my arching sight. Neither king nor price shall tempt me from my lonely room this night. Let me hold my still communion, far from every earthly sound. Day in penance, day of passion, every as the year comes round. Fatal day, whereon the latest die was cast for me and mine. Cruel day that quelled the fortunes of the hapless stirred line of the phantom-like, as in a mirror, rise and grisly scenes of death. There before me, in the wilderness, stretches bare cauldron's health. There the broken clans are scattered, gaunt as wolves and feminine-eyed, hanger gnawed at their vitals, hope abandoned, all but pride, and the supreme devotion with the southern never knew, and the hatred deeply rankling against the Hanoverian crew. There they stand, the battered columns, underneath the murky sky, in the hush of depression, not to conquer, but to die. Hello, Lemmy the Great. How are you? Hark, the bagpipes fateful willing, not the pibroch loud and shrill, not with hope of bloody banquet, lured and ravens from the hill, but the dirge both low and solemn, fit for ears of dying men, marshalled for their latest battle, nevermore to fight again. Madness, madness, why this shrinking? Were we less inured to war when our repairs swept the rapiers, from the field of red Dunbar? Bring my horse and blow the trumpet, cool the raiders of Fitzjames, let Lord Lewis head the column, valiant chiefs of mighty names, trust Capoch, stout Glengarry, gallant Gordon, wise Lachlan, bid the clansmen hold together fast and fell, and true as steel, Elchor never look so gloomy. What avails a suddened brow? Heart, man, heart, we need it sorely. Never half so much as now. God, how awful sounds that volley, bellowing through the mist and rain. Was not that the Highland slogan? Let me hear that shout again. Oh, for prophet's eye to witness how the desperate battle goes. Cumberland, I would not fear thee, could my Cambrons see their foes. Sound, I say, the charge adventure. 'Tis not naked steel we fear, better perish in the melee than be shot like driven deer. Hold, the mist begins to scatter, there, in front. 'Tis rent asunder, and the cloudy bastion crumbles underneath the defining thunder. There I see the scarlet gleaming. Now, MacDonald, now or never. Woe is me, the clans are broken. Father, thou art lost forever. Chief and vessel, lord and yeoman, there they lie, in heaps together, smitten by deadly volley, rolled in blood upon the heather. And the Hanoverian horsemen, fiercely riding to and fro, deal their murderous strikes at random. Ah, my God, where am I now? And that was from Charles Edward of Versailles by Ayrton. We need to check in on his stuff. His stuff is lovely to read. Hello, Quilloughby. So far, I thought this was a joke. Now I know this is real. Oh, of course. I thoroughly enjoy reading old poetry. The pronunciation is making you age backwards. I mean, this one doesn't have a publisher year on it or anything to that effect, no copyright, since it is a specimen copy. But the other one that we've been reading a lot here is that one, which was given as a gift in 1922. It's some of the most joyful for stuff that I have. It's wonderful. I'm going to put in the paper. Oh, right. Yes. I do hop into this one quite often. It's very nice to read. Yet this one I find odd. I mean, as you can see, it's very obviously a children's poem book, but there is so much reference to war in it. Yet I thought they were more... No, why would I think they were more coy with it? It was introduced far more readily. No, it does make sense. There is World War I poetry in this that I recognise from this one, which is considerably newer. But yes, we have a fair amount of our older books. I mean, Ted Hughes is what, 80s, so that hardly counts. I'm not actually sure for R.Browning, but that's what we'll be moving on to next. That's me learning Latin, and this one I think was 1910. Not all of those are poetry, though. But yes, things like this, I couldn't resist it when I saw it on eBay. I mean, yeah, the cover's in a bad way, but who really cares? A wee bird came to our ha door is the name, and is also the first line. A wee bird came to our ha door, he warbled sweet and clearly, and I, the orcombe, a song, and I, he orcombe, oh, his sang was, where's the Prince Charles? Oh, when I heard the bonny, bonny bird, the tears came dripping rarely. I took my bonnet off my head, for well I loved Prince Charlie. Quoth I, my bird, my bonny, bonny bird, is there a sang ye borrow? Are these some words ye've learnt, my heart? Or a little dool, this sorrow? Oh, no, no, the wee bird sang, I've flown sin a morning early, but sick a day o' wind and rain. Oh, where me for Prince Charlie? On hills that are by right his, and he roams a lonely stranger. On aik hand he pressed by want, on aik side by danger. Yestereen I met him in a glen, my heart mayst bestful fairly. For sairly charged indeed was he. Oh, was me for Prince Charlie. Dark night came on, the tempest roared, cold o'er the hills and valleys. Thou where wast Sorry, that's actually probably wasn't. My apologies there. Wasn't the that your prince lay down, whose home should been a palace. He rode home in a Highland plaid which covered him but sparsely, and slept beneath a bush or broom. Oh, was my Prince Charlie. But now the bird saw some redcoats, and he shook his wings wi' anger. And those is no a land for me, I'll tarry here me langer. A while he horrowed on the wing, ere he departed fairly. But while I mind the farewell stain was, where's me for Prince Charlie? And that was by William Glenn. I apologize I'm not reading through it smoother. I keep on tripping up with what's there. Again, I swear I'm just reading it as it's written. The whole time I was going, whale is just W-E-E-L. It hurts. Here's the kicker, I'm dyslexic. I can't read English for toffee. The Lament of Floral MacDonald. Far over yon hills of the heather so green, and down by the corrie that sings to the sea, the bonny young Flora sat singing her lane. The dew on her plaid and the tear in her eye, she looked at a boat which the breeze had swung, away on the wave like a bird on the main, and as I listened, she sighed, and she sung, farewell to the lad I shall ne'er see again, farewell to my hero, the gallant and young, farewell to the lad I shall ne'er see again. The morrock that crows up on the top of Ben Connell, he canes o'er the rest. I'll try that entire bit again. The morrock that crows on the top of Ben Connell, he canes o'er the nest in a sweet mossy hame. The eagle that soars o'er the cliffs of Glen Ronald, unwed and unbainted, his eyrie can claim, the soul he can sleep on his shelf of the shore. The cormorant roost of his rock of the sea, but oh, there is ane whose hard fate I deplore. No house nor hame in his country has he. The conflict is past, and our name is no more. There's naught left but sorrow for Scotland and me. The target is torn from the arm of the just, the helmet is cleft off the brow of the brave, the claymore for ever in darkness must rust, but red is the sword of the stronger and the slave. The hoof of the horse and the foot of the proud have trod o'er the plums of the bonnet of blue, wise slept and red bolt in the heart of a cloud, when tyranny revelled in blood, but the true. Farewell, my young hero, the gallant and good. The crown of feathers is torn from thy brow. By James Hogg. You know, it just sounds like it's incredibly easy to get you to cry. If you ever wish to listen to any of the previous ones of this, like everything else in this book so far, is up on our YouTube because I started that purely for this. I say started, it's been there for a long time, I've just not used it. And many thanks for the few bits. I appreciate it. I mean, Christ, there's a few in here that nearly got me. Ooh, this is a longer one. A much longer one. Hang on, are you disappearing to stream? If so, I'm gonna have to lurk at least. I wouldn't want to miss one. And this is the... hold on. Oh, that's telling you about... okay, that was the end. Good lord, I could have just finished it that day. See you around. And many thanks. Yeah, that's just talking about the authors. We absolutely could have finished. I'll have to hand that to my mother so she can read a few of those. They're tremendously good. And as the title of this stream says... sorry for knocking the microphone there. R.Browning now. Actually, let's quickly... when was he? Born in 7th of May, 1812, died 12th of December, 1859. Good lord. So these are even older than some of the other ones we've been reading. And this is on tremendous paper, I love this stuff. First off, gilded on the edge. Secondly, everyone knows the feel of this paper. It's ever so nice. And terribly, terribly thin. 1 second. Where are we? There we go. No, even that is too far in. There we go. So it does actually start on this one. So yes, these are the poems from 1833 to 1868. In this volume, pages 1 through 162 of this edition are collected and redistributed of pieces first published in 1842, 1845, 1855, respectively, under the titles of Dramatic Lyrics, Dramatic Romances, and Men and Women. Part of these were inscribed to my dear friend John Kenyon. I hope the whole may obtain the honor of an ascension with his memory. Association. My apologies. Alright, are we doing the lyrics as well? Because I don't know the tempo for those. Yes, we will. Kentish Sir Byong stood for his king, bidding the crop-headed Parliament swing, and pressing the troop under the stoop, and see the rogues flourishing, and honest folk droop. marched them along 50 score strong, great-hearted gentlemen singing this song. God for King Charles, Pime and such earls, to the devil that promotes their treason's perils. Cavalry's up, lips from the cup, hands from the pasty, not bite taken nor sup, until you're marching along 50 score strong, great-hearted gentlemen sing this song. Hampden to hell, and his obsequies kneel. Serve Hazeling Fenians and young Harry as well. England good cheer, Rupert is near, Kenshin the loyalist, keep we not here. Marching along 50 score strong, great-hearted gentlemen singing this song. Then good for King Charles, Pime and his snarls, to the devil that pricks on such pestilent Charles. Hold by the right, you double your might, so onward to Nottingham, fresh for the fight. March we along 50 score strong, great-hearted gentlemen singing this song. Give a rogue King Charles, and who'll do him right now? King Charles, and who'll ripe for the fight now? Give Rose, here's in Hall's despite now. King Charles. Ooh. Very soft paper. Who gave me the goods that went since, who raised me the house that sank once, who helped me to gold I spent since, who found me in wine you drank once. King Charles, and who'll do the king right now? King Charles, and who'll strike... and who's ripe for the fight now? Give a rose, here's in hell's despite now, King Charles. To whom used my boy George quaff else by the old... I breathed in something, hold on. Terribly sorry for that. To whom used my boy George quaff else by the old fool's side that begot him? For whom did he cheer and laugh else? Whilst Noll damned troops shot him, King Charles, and who'll do him right now? King Charles, and who's ripe for fight now? Give a rose, here's in hell's despite now, King Charles. Boot saddle to horse and away, because the castle before the hot day brightens to blue from its silver grey. Boot saddle to horse and away, ride past the suburbs, asleep as you'd say. Many's the friend there, well listen and pray. Good luck's to Gallant and strike up the lay. Boot saddle to horse and away, 40 miles off like Roebuck at a bay, floats Castle Brent's path, the Roundheads' array, who laughed, good fellows are these, by my fay. Hang on, by fay. Boot saddle to horse and away, who? My wife Gertrude, that honest and gay, laughs when you talk of surrendering Nay, I've better counselors, that what counsel they? Boot, saddle, to horse, and away. I like that. That was very fun. The Lost Leader. Just a handful of silver he left us, just for a raiment to stick to his coat. Found the one gift of which fortune bereft us, lost all the others she let us devote. They, with the gold to give, doled him out silver. So much was theirs, who so little allowed. How all our copper had gone for his service. Rags were they, purple, his best had been proud. We that had loved him so, followed him, honoured him, lived in his mid and magnificent eye, learned his great language, caught his clear accent, made him our pattern to live, and to die. Shakespeare was of us, Milton was for us, Milton, Burns, Shelley were with us. They watch from their graves, he alone breaks from the van and the free man, he alone sinks to the rear and the slaves. We will march prospering, not through his presence. Songs may inspite us, not from his lyre. Deeds will be done while he bests his quiescence. Still bidding crouch whom the rest bade aspire. Blot out his name, then record one last soul more. One task more declared, one more footpath untrod. One more triumph for devils, and sorrow for angels, one wrong more to man, one more insult to God. I thought that was the cat. Life's naught begins. Let him never come back to us. There would be doubt, hesitation and pain, forced praise on our part, the glamour of twilight, never glad, confident, morning again. Best fight on well, for we taught him, strike gallantly, menace our heart, ere we master his own. Then let him reserve his new knowledge and wait us, pardoned in heaven, the fast first by the throne. That was nice. I like that. How the Broughton the god news from Gant to Arx. It's got a very different feel to it, I will say that. Especially considering we were just reading this one. So much harder to read, yet this one is tripping me more. It's terrible, isn't it? And I must admit, I do like the fact that they do have considerably thicker paper and show a photograph, or drawing, I'm not actually sure, it could be a painting as well, of Mr. Robert Browning. And fingers crossed that'll be the thumbnail that it uses. I sprang to the stirrup, and Jorce and he, I dare gallop, we galloped all three. Good speed, cried the watch, as the gate bolts undrew. Speed, echoed the wall, echoed the wall to us, galloping through. Behold, shut the postern, the light sank to rest. and into the midnight we gallop abreast. Not a word to each other we kept by great pace, neck by neck, stride by stride, never changing our place. I turned in my saddle and made its girths tight, then shortened each stirrup and sat the pike right. Rebuckled the cheek strap, chain slacking the bit, nor galloped less steadily Roland a whit. 'Twas moonest at starting, but while we drew near Lochen, the cocks crew, and twilight dawned clear. At boom, a great yellow star came out to sea. At Duffeld, 'twas morning as plain as could be, and from Macklin church steeple we heard the half chime. So Joris broke silence with, "Yet there is time." At Aarschot upleaped the saddle, the sun. Upleaped of a saddle the sun, and against him the cattle stood black every one, to stare through the mist at us galloping past, and I saw my stout galloper Roland at last, with result shoulders each butting away the haze as some bluff river headland its spray, and his low head and crest just one sharp ear bent back for my voice, and the other pricked out on his track, and one eye's black intelligence over that glance o'er this white edge at me, his own master a sequence, and the think heavy spume flakes which eye the none. His fierce lips shook upwards in galloping on. By Hasselt, the Derrick groaned and cried, "Joris, stay, spur your rose!" Galloped bravely, the fault's not in her. We'll remember at Aix, for one heard they quick wheeze of her chest sore stretched neck and staggering knees, and sunk tail and horrible heave on the flank, as down on her haunches she stumbled and sank. Shuddered and sank. So we were left galloping, Jors, and I, past Luz and past Tongres. No cloud in the sky, the broad sun above laughed a pitiless laugh. Neither our feet broke, and brittle brought stubborn like chaff, till over the Dunhelm dawn spire sprang white, and gallop, gasped Joris, for Aix is in sight. How they'll greet us, and all in a moment his roan, Holland neck and Europe over, lay dead as a stone, and there was my Roland to bear the whole weight of the news which alone could save Aix from her fate. With his nostril like pits full of blood to the brim, all with circles of red in his eye. His eye socket's rim. Then I cast loose my buffle-coat, each holster let fall, shook off both of my jack-boots, let go belt and all, stood up and stirrup leaned, patted his ear, called my Roland his pet name, my horse without peer, clapped my hands, laughing, and sang any noise, bad or good, till at length into arcs Roland galloped and stood. And all I remember is friends flocking round, as I sat with his head twixt my knees on the ground, and no voice but was praising this Roland of mine, as I poured down his throat our last measure of wine, which the Begrees voted by common consent was no more than his due, who brought good news from Gahand. So one of them dropped out to stop and protect his horse. The other one died on the way, and his horse practically ran itself to death because he didn't give it a break. They ran it for a solid day and a half. Good lord. Through the Medieja to aid Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda. As in EL-KADR. It's not the one you're thinking of when you say that word. Where this was in 1842. As I ride, with a full heart for my guide, so its tide rocks my side, as I ride, that as I was double-eyed, he in whom our tribes confide is descried, ways untried, as I ride, to our chief and his allied, who dares chide my heart's pride, as I ride, or are witnesses denied, through the desert waste and wide, do I glide unspied, as I ride, when an inner voice was cried, the sands slide, nor abide, as I ride, o'er each vengeance homicide that came ventured, as he lied, to reside where he died, as I ride, ne'er the spur my swift horse plied, as I ride, shows were sweet, has sprung and dried, zebra-footed, ostrich-thighed, how has vied, stride with stride, as I ride, could I lose what fate has tied, ere I pride, she should hide, as I ride, all that's meant me satisfied, when the prophet and the bride stop veins, I'd have subside, as I ride. Good lord. That's going to be ingrained in me later. Oh good, you can't actually hear that. This one is nationality in drinks. My heart sank with our clarked flask, just now beneath the heavy sedges that serves this pond's black face for mask, and still at yonder broken edges of the hole, whereup the bubbles glisten, after my heart I knock and listen. Our laughter little flask, compelled to throw depths to depth, more bleak and shady. One moment, please. Alright, terribly sorry. I was about to sneeze, but as I was muting the microphone, it disappeared. So I got cheated out of that one as well. As when both arms decide, her held feet straightened out. Some gay French lady is caught up from life's light and motion, and dropped into death's silent ocean. Up jumped Toki on our table, like a Siam castle warden, dwarfish to see, but stout and able, arms and accoutrements, all in order, and fierce he looked north, then wheeled south, blew with his bugle, a challenge to Droth. That is the cat. One moment, please. He will only get more agitated. So I shall just be a moment. Hello. You hopping up this way? As you can see his shadow, he just wants to sit there, apparently. So he'll get right back to it. But there is space up here for him if he wishes. Where were we? Challenge to Droth. Cooked his flap hat with the toss pot. Stop shaking the feather, sorry. Twisted his thumb in the red moustache, jingled his huge brass spurs together, tightened his waist at Buddha said, with its Buddha sash, and then, with the impudence, naught. Come on, lay down. Unfortunately, he's right where the light is best. Come here, buddy. Don't sit on my keyboard. What did I just tell you not to do, eh? Just this way a touch. There you go. You right? Yeah, he's happy. I do apologize about this. I do this. Well done. That's the best captioning I've ever seen. Oh, hang on, what was that? Yep, you had a... Yeah. You've been playing in bushes again, haven't you? You absolute swine. Where were we? College to Droth. Cocked his flap hat with the tosspot feather. twisted his thumb in the red moustache, jingled his huge brass spurs together, tightened his waist with his Buddha sash, and then, with an imprudent snort, could abash, shrugged his hump shoulder to tell the beholder, for 20 such knaves he should laugh. But the beholder, and so with his sword hilt gallant jutting, and dexter hand on the haunch about thing. Can I help you? You're making it very difficult to read. Beholder, and so with the sword hilt gallant jitter, and dexter hand on his haunch abouting, went the little man, Sir Asper, strutting. He's to Nelson's memory. 'Tis the second time that I, at sea, right off Cape Trafalgar here, have drunk it deep in British beer. Nelson forever, any time, and I, his to command, in prose or rhyme. Give me of Nelson only a touch, and I save it. Be it little or much, here is our Captain Gibbs. Dude, get off the... And so down at the word, by George, shall it go. He says that in the Greenwich, that point the beholder to Nelson coat. Still with tar on the shoulder, for he used to lean with one shoulder, digging, jigging as it were, and zigging up against the mason rigging. And that's that one. The flower's name. Here's the garden she walked across, arm in my arm, such a short while since. Hark! Now I push its wicked the moss, hinders the hinges, and makes them wince. What is with you, buddy? You are so antsy today. You good? Very strange. He's not usually like that. Wince. She must have reached this shrub ere she turned. As back with that murmur the wicket swung, for she laid the poor snail my chance to feed, and forgot it in the leaves among. Down the side of the gravel walk. Dude, just get comfy, please. Do. No. Leaves among. Down the side of the gravel walk she went, while her robe's edge brushed the box, and here she paused in the gracious talk, to point me a moth on the milk-white folks. Roses ranged in valiant row, I will never think that she is passed you by. She love you noble roses, I know, but yonder see where the rock plants lie. The flower she stopped at, finger on lip, stopped over in doubt, as setting its claim, till she gave me with pride to make no slip, its soft meandering Spanish name. Oh, hang on. There. Those didn't want to separate. When he finished reflection, well, that doesn't. Hold on. Soft meaning Spanish name 5. Yep, that was still too many. There we go. And someone ripped those. It's a terrible shame. What a name! Was it love or praise? Speech half asleep or sung half awake? I must learn Spanish one of these days, only for that slow, sweet name's sake. Roses. If I lived and do well, I may bring her one of those days to fix you fast with as fine a spell. Fit you each with this fit you each with his Spanish phrase. But do not detain me now, for she lingers there like sunshine over the ground, and ever I see her soft white fingers searching after the bud she found. Flower, you Spaniard, look that you grow not. Stay as you are, and be loved forever. Bud, if I kiss you, it's that you blow not. Mind, the shut pink mouth opens never, for while this it pouts, her fingers wrestle, twinkling the odious leaves between, till round they turn and down they nestle. It's not the dear mark still to be seen. When I find her not beauteous vanishes, whether I follow her beauteous flee. In there no method to tell her in Spanish, June twice June since she breathed it with me. Come, bud, show me the last of her traces. Treasure my lady's lightest footfalls. Ah, you may flout and turn up your face. Roses, you are not so far after all. Simbendios Simbandios Sketiaformbargans. I have no idea how that sounds. I know it's not right. I'm trying. Plague take all your pedants, say I, he who wrote what I hold in my hand, centuries back, was so good as to die, leaving this rubbish to crumble and land. Crumble the land. Cumber the land. My apologies. This that was book in this time, printed on paper and bound in leather, last month in the white of the matin prime, just when the birds sang all together. Into the garden I brought it to read, and under the archer and lords... Sorry, what? Larestein read it, so help me grace it in my need. From title page to closing line, chapter on chapter did I count, as a curious traveller counts Stonehenge. Added up the mortal amount. Oh, terribly sorry. And then proceeded to my revenge. Yonder's a palm tree with a crave on owl wood building, where he but sage, for a lap of moss, like a fine point that lives in the castle in the Middle Age. joins to a lip of gum pure ember, when he'd be private, through might he spent hours alone in his lady's chamber. Into this crevice I dropped our friend. Splash went he, as under he dunked. I knew at the bottom raindrop pings straight and stagnant. Next a handful of blossom I plucked to bury him with, my bookshelf's magnate. Then I went indoors, brought out a loaf, half a cheese, and a bottle of chavels. Lay on the grass and forgot the oath over a jolly chapter of rare bliss. Now the morning betwixt the moss and the gum, that looked our friend in limbo, a spider had spun a web across, and sat in the midst of the arms. Terribly sorry. Akimbo. So I took pity for learning's sake, and de profundis aciobus leatux cantae, quoth I, as I got a rake, and up I finished his deliberable treatise. Ah, he destroyed the spider's web. Have it dry in the sun, with all the binding, all the blister, and great blue spots where the ink has run, the reddish streaks that wink and glisten o'er the page of so beautiful yellow. Oh, well have the droppings played their tricks. Did thee guess how toadstools grow, this fellow? He's one stuck in his chapter 6. How did he like it when the live creatures tricked the toast and burrowed him all over? How bizarre. And worm, slug, eft, with serious features, came in such one for his rest of trover, when the water beetle and great blind deaf face made of her eggs and stately deposit, and the newt borrowed just so much of the preface as titled in the top of his blank wife's closet. All that life and fun and romping, all that frisking and twisting and copuling, while slowly our poor friend's leaves were swamping, and clasping were cracking, and covers suppling, as if you had carried Sir John Cox to the playhouse at Paris, Vienna, or Munich, fastened him into the front row box, and danced off the ballet, with trousers and tenny. Come, old Mater, what torment enough is it? Back to my room shall you take your sweet self. Goodbye, mother beetle, husband aft suffer. See the smug niche I have made on my shelf. A's book shall prop you up. A's book shall prop you up. B's shall cover you. Here's C to the grave with R.D. to be gay and with E on each side, and F right over you. Dry rot at ease till the judgment day. Alright, so I'm only going to go for another hour because for some reason I am all of a sudden dreadfully tired. I do sincerely apologize about that. But I do not want to cop out quite so early for you. If I feel well in an hour, we shall continue. Because my head is beginning to genuinely hurt once more. It's been bothering me for the past couple of days. I do apologize. Soliloquy of the Spanish cloister. Sorry, there go my heart's abhorrence. Sorry, abhorrence. Water your damaged flower pots do. If hate killed men, brother Lawrence, God's blood would not mine kill you. What? You're the bush once trimming? Oh, that rose has prior claims, needs its laden vase filled brimming, hell dry you up with its flames. At the meal we sit together, salve time. I'm gonna actually have to. 1 second. Yeah. I want to find out what that means in a moment. There. Wait. Terribly sorry. I must hear wise talk of the kind of weather, sort of season, time of year, not the plenteous cork crop. Scarcely dare we hope ache gales, I doubt. What's the Latin name for parsley? What's the Greek name for swine snout? Whew! We'll have our platter burnished, laid with care on our own shelf, with fire new spoon we're furnished, and a goblet for ourself, rinsed like something sacrificial, ere 'tis fit to touch our chaps marked with L. For the R initial. For our initial? Hee hee. There his lily snaps. Saint Forsooth, while brown Dorless squats outside he convent bank with Sanchave, telling stories, steeping tresses in the tank, blue-black, lustious, thick, like horsehairs. Can't I see his dead eye glow, bright as 'twere a Barbary crosses? This is if he'd let it show. When he finished reflection, knife and fork, he never lays crosswise. He may recollection, as do I, in G's praise. I the Trinity illustrate, drinking watered orange pulp in 3 sips the Aryan frosted, while he drains his at 1 gulp. Oh, those melons! If he's able, we're to have a feast so nice. One goes to the abbot's table, all of us get each a slice. How go on your flowers? None double. Not one fruit sort can you spy. Strange. And I too, at such trouble, keep them close nipped on the sly. There's a great text in Gallantness. Once you trip on it, entails 29 distant damnations, one sure if another fails. If I trip him just a dying, sure of heavens, as sure as can be, spin him round and send him flying off to hell. Amanisby. Or my Serful's French novel, on grey paper with blunt type, simple glance at it, your grovel hand and foot in belly's grip. If I double down its page at the woeful 16th print, when the gathers his gringers, oppa, I sieve, and slip it int. Or the Satan, one might venture, pledge one's soul to him, yet leave such a flaw in the indenture, and he'd miss till payst retrieve. Blasted lay they Rosakia, were so proud of, Hazy, Hyacinth, there's Vespers, plena Granta, Eve Vegar, you swine. I am doing my very best to read this as it's written. I sincerely apologize. It's coming out very poorly. This is actually one of the reasons I'm teaching myself Latin, so I can better read such. For a few parts of there were just Latin. There were a couple that were Greek as well, though at this juncture I'm not genuinely able to tell them apart properly. Soon at the... oh wait, no, hang on. The laboratory, ancient room. Now that I try thy glass mark tightly, may gaze through these faint smoked curling weightly, as thou pilest thy trade in the devil's smitely, which is the poison to poison her prithee. He is with her, and they know that I know where they are. What they do, they believe my tears flow, while they laugh at me, at my fled to the drear, empty church, to pray God in. For them I am here. Grind away, moisten and mash up thy paste, pound at the powder, I am not in haste. Bitter sit thus, and observe thy strange things. Then go where men wait me and dance at the king's. That in the mortar you call it a gum. Ah, the brave tree whence such gold oozing comes, and yonder soft phial, and exquisite blue, sure to taste sweetly, is that poison too. Had I but all of them, thee and thy treasures, wise wild crowd of invisible pleasures, to carry pure death in an earring, a casket, a signet a fan mount, a filigree bucket. Soon at the king's, a mare losing to give, and poor Lynn should have just 30 minutes to live, but to light a pastel, and Elsie, with her head, and her breast, and her arms, and her hands, should drop dead. Quick is it finished, the colours too grim, why not soft like the phials intense, and dim? Let us brighten her drink, let her turn it, and stir, and try it, and taste, ere she fix and prefer. What a drop! She's not little, no minor like me. That's why she ensnared him. This never will free. The soul from those masculine eyes say no. To the pulse magnificent, come and go. For once last night, as they whispered, I brought my own eyes to bear, and her so, that I thought, could I keep them 1/2 minute fixed, she would fall. Shrivelled, she fell not, yet this does it all. Not that I bid you spare her the pain, let death be felt in the proof remain, brand, burn up, bite into the grace, he is sure to remember her dying face. Is it done? Take my mask off. Nay, be not morose. It kills her, and this prevents seeing it close. The delicate droplet, my whole fortune's fee. If it hurts her beside, can it ever hurt me? Now take all my jewels, George Gold, to your fill. You may kiss me, old man, on my mouth if you will, but brush this dust off me, lest horror it bring. Ere I know it, next moment I dance at the king's. Who? He killed her. I need to check something quick. Okay, cool. Very nice. The confessional, Spain. It is a lie. Their priest, their pope, their saints there. All they fear or hope are lies and lies there. Through my door and ceiling there, the walls and floor, there lies they lie, shall still be hurled, till the spite of them I reach the world. You think priests just and holy men, before they put me in this den, I was a human creature too, with flesh and blood like one of you, a girl that laughed in beauteous pride, like lilies in your world aside. I had a lover, shame avaunt, this poor wretched body grim and gaunt was kissed all over till it burned by lips of the trust love o'erturned, his heart's own tint. One night they kissed my soul out in burning mist. So next day, when the accustomed train of things grew round my sense again. That is a sin, I said, and slow with downcast eyes to church I go, and pass to the confession chair, and tell the old mild father there. But when I falter Beltrane's name, "Ha?" quoth the father, "much I blame the sin, yet wherefore idly grieve? Despair not, sensuously retrieve. Nay, I will turn this love of thine to lawful love almost divine. For he is young and led astray, this Baldron, and he schemes, men say, to change the laws of church and state. So thine shall be angel's fate, whoe'er the thunder breaks should roll its clouds away and save his soul. For when he lies upon thy breast, thou mayest demand and be possessed of all his plains, and next day steal to me and all those plans reveal, that I and every priest to purge his soul may fast and use this scourge. The father heard was long and white. The father's beard was long and white. With love and truth his brow seemed bright. I went back all on fire with joy, and that same evening made the boy tell me, as lovers should, heart free, something to prove his love to me. He told me what he would not tell for hope of heaven or fear of hell, and I lay listening to such pride, and soon as he had left my side, tripped to the church by morning light to save my soul in his despite. Many thanks for the follow. Oh, my eyes are taking a moment to adjust there. Drag this over this way. What, another 360? Alright, I like that, that's good. But yes, many thanks, it is genuinely greatly appreciated. He told me what it was, despite I told the father all his schemes, who were his comrades, what their dreams. And now make haste, I said, to pray the one spot from his soul away. Tonight he comes, but not the same will look. At night he never came, not next night or the after morn. I went forth with straight newborn. The church was empty. Something drew my step into the street. I knew it led me to the marketplace, where lo, on high the father's face, that horrible black scarfold dressed, the stapled block, God sink the rest. That head strapped back, that blinding vest, those knotted hands and naked breast, till near one busy hangman's pressed, and on the neck their arms crossed. No part in aught they hope or fear, or no heaven with them, no hell, and here no earth, not so much space as pence. my body in their worst of dens, but shall bear God and men my cry. Lies, lies again, and still they lie. I am thoroughly enjoying this. It's some of the more passionate older writings that I've found. And once again, this is R.Browning, some of his earlier works. These ones, I believe, from, I think, 1820-ish. 1820, was it? One of these pages said it. That one, I think. 1842. My apologies. And this one is Christine. She should never have looked at me. If she meant I should not leave her, there are plenty men you call such, I suppose. She may discover all her soul too, if she pleases, and yet leave much as she found them. But I'm not so, and she knew it. When she fixed me, glanced round them. What? To fix me thus meant nothing? But I cannot tell. There's my weakness. What her look said, no vile scent sure, about need to strive, the blackness of some lone shore with its pearl seed that the sea feels, no strange yearning. Such souls have most to lavish where there's chance of least returning. Oh, we are sunk enough here, God knows, but not quite so sunk that moments, sure though seldom, are denied us. When the spirit's true endowments stand out plainly, its false ones, and appropriate, if it's pursuing or the right way or the wrong way, to its triumph or undoing. There are flashes struck from midnights, there are fire flames noondays kindle, where piled up honours perish, whereby swollen ambitions dwindle. Excuse me, sorry. While just this or that poor impulse, which for once had play, unstifled, my apologies. Dyslexia's a hell of a thing. Seems the sole work of the lifetime that away the rest have trifled. Doubt you if, in some such moment as she fixed me, she felt clearly a guess past the soul extend. Here an age 'tis resting merely, and hence fleets again for ages, while the true and sole and single, it stops here for its this love way. That's a very strange sentence. With some other's soul to mingle, else it loses what it lived for, and eternally must lose it. Better ends may be in prospect, deeper blessings if you choose it. But this life end and this love bliss have been lost here. Doubt you whether this she felt as looking at me. Mine and her souls rushed together. Oh, observe. Of course, next moment, the world humors in derision, templed out the light forever, trampled. Never fear, but there's provision of the devils to quench knowledge, lest we walk the earth in rapture, making those who catch God's secret just so much more prize their capture. Such am I. The secret's mine now. She has lost me, I have gained her. Her soul's mine, and thus grown perfect. I shall pass my life's reminder. Life will just hold out and prove both our prowess alone and blended, and then come the next life quickly. The world's use well have been ended. Terrific. The Lost Mistress. All's over then. Does truth sound bitter? As one at first believes, hark, 'tis the sparrows. Good night, twitter, about your cottage eaves. And the leaf buds on the vine are woolly. I noticed that today. One day more bursts them open fully. You know the red turns grey. Tomorrow we meet the same then, dearest. Dearest, may I take your hand in mine? Mere friends are we. Well, friends the merest. Keep much that I'll resign, for each glance of that eye so bright and black, though I keep with heart's endeavour, your voice, when you wish the snowdrops back, though it stays in my soul forever. Yet I will but say that more friends say, or only together stronger. I will hold your hand, but as long as all may, apologies, or so very little longer. I'm thoroughly enjoying these. I'm tripping up more than I did with the Scottish stuff, but I enjoy it. Earth's immortalities. Fame. See, the prettiest graves will do in time. A poet's wants the freshness of its prime. Spite of all Saxtons,